दोनों देशों के बीच एक द्विपक्षीय व्यापार समझौता जो हमारे दोनों देशों का हित ध्यान में रखे, दोनों देशों के किसानों के लिए, दोनों देशों के मछुआरों के लिए, छोटे उद्यमियों के लिए नए मौके, नए अवसर खोले, निवेश भी बढ़े, व्यापार भी बढ़े, टेक्नोलॉजी के संबंध में भी किस प्रकार से दोनों देश आपसी संबंध बढ़ा सकें। शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में अपार संभावनाएं हैं, वैसे ही चाहे वो डिफेंस हो, स्पेस हो, एग्रीकल्चर के साथ जुड़े हुए फूड प्रोसेसिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा नया मार्केट खुल सकता है, नए तरीके, तौर तरीके हम सीख सकते हैं। तो एक प्रकार से ये दो देश ऐसे हैं जो स्पर्धा नहीं करते एक दूसरे के साथ, एक दूसरे के साथ जोड़ीदार बन के काम करते हैं। और मैं समझता हूँ कि ये कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री इकोनॉमीज जो मिलकर आपस का व्यापार भी बढ़ाएंगे, लेकिन साथ ही साथ मिलकर पूरे दुनिया में दोनों देश का व्यापार बढ़ेगा, वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा इसमें से लाभ मुझे दिखता है। मैं समझता हूँ ये एक बहुत अहम FTA होगा, द्विपक्षीय व्यापार समझौता, जो भारत के विकसित भारत 2047 के अमृत काल के यात्रा में बहुत कारगर साबित होगा।
तो सर आपने वेरी सुन बोला, कितनी जल्दी हम देख सकते हैं, कितने राउंड और होने हैं उसके बाद हम फाइनल कर सकते हैं?
इन चीज़ों में कभी डेडलाइन तो नहीं होती है, पर जिस तेजी से बातचीत आगे बढ़ रही है और जिस सौगातपूर्ण वातावरण में बातचीत हो रही है, मुझे लगता है जल्दी परिणाम, अच्छे परिणाम देश और दुनिया के सामने रख पाएंगे।
Well, once the FTA is landed, it will be significant. We've seen over the last year, two-way trade has increased by 10%. Which is a very large increase when we think about, the size of the two economies. And so we're working hard to strike a deal that will give real opportunity to all Indian businesses in New Zealand and New Zealand businesses who are interested in working together in India. But it's much, much more than just what we might buy and sell from each other. It's how we can cooperate in areas of science and innovation, how we can take some of the things we've done in New Zealand about producing some of the highest quality food, growing it in New Zealand, and bring that to help Indian farmers be much more productive to feed people in India and export to the world. So those are the areas our negotiators are still looking at. But I would tell you that when we land this agreement, if we come back to this hall in 10 years' time, whatever we say today, the achievement of the New Zealand Indian business communities will be astronomically greater than that. Well, we've agreed not to talk about the detail of the negotiation whilst our negotiators are still working, but across the broad spectrum of things that we've identified are important to India and New Zealand, we're making very good progress. You should think about it in this context. I can't think of another trade negotiation that New Zealand's been involved in, that between a launch, which is March of this year, and now, which is only 7 months, there have been 5 rounds. There's been detailed work at a time when both New Zealand and India are negotiating furiously with many other countries of the world. So it's the constructive spirit that Minister Goyal and I have agreed that we will look for solutions to the challenging issues rather than just saying we keep arguing about them, that's allowed us to make progress. I'm looking forward to being in India next week for my 6th visit since I became minister less than 2 years ago, and we'll be looking at ways that we can continue the cooperation. The agreement will be done when it's done, but it feels like with the commitment we've both made, it will be, as our two Prime Ministers told us, as quickly as we can.
So will we see 15 minutes yesterday add to the momentum?
Tell me what?
The 15 minutes outside, the conversation that the three of you had, including Prime Minister.
We were talking about whose cricket team was better.
Mr. Minister, how is it going to help the general people of both the countries.
Well, trade, where you have rules in place that people can understand and rely upon, it is easier for them to make the commitment to work more closely together. We're very interested in the things that we can buy from India. I think you've heard me mention that we did a trade agreement with China 20 years ago. Today we import almost $20 billion worth of goods from China. And we have an and strategy. We want to trade with America and the European Union and Australia and India, and that trade agreement will make it easier for Indian companies to look to partner with New Zealand companies to sell the very high quality goods and services you produce here, and for New Zealand companies to do the same thing. So it's going to be a win-win, and we've said it must be complementary and both sides must win.
So will we see any kind of technology transfer in the area of agriculture and dairy under this FTA?
So that's one of the things we've been talking about today, and the answer is yes, we will. Already that is possible, but we want the trade agreement to supercharge that. You know, we were talking a little bit as we were looking today at the grass that's grown in New Zealand. We've recognised for production, the higher the quality of the grass, the more farmers can produce. And we have had decades of scientific research go into that. Already in parts of the country where we see because of warming temperatures and climate change, the grasses are not working as well as they used to. Our scientists are working on how they can improve that through selection and better knowledge around the soil. These are all things that we want to share with India. Prime Minister Modi has said he wants to increase the earnings of Indian farmers by 50% by 2030 or 2035. New Zealand is happy to join into that to achieve it, because actually through the exchange of technology, not only is India and New Zealand better, all of the world will be better.
So when you visit the next week with the teams, will that be the next round of the negotiations?
No, some of the teams are coming, but mainly it's an opportunity for me to come back to India. One of the things I'm exploring is how I get citizenship. I'm coming so often.
Minister, can India and New Zealand trade go from 2 billion to 20 billion?
Yes, very easily it can. We need to have good rules in place the business community can understand. We need people in both directions to believe they can move more freely, and we need investment in both directions to come back and forth. There was a New Zealand company today that's owned by an Indian New Zealander. He makes mattresses and beds. He has asked us to come and do a sod turning. He's building a factory in India, investment from New Zealand there to make these beds, some of the highest quality ones. He was saying actually with AI you can lie on this mattress and within minutes will adjust so you have the best sleep ever. Trade ministers are not allowed that. We're not allowed to sleep. We have to keep working, but there will be opportunities in both directions, and I think that we will come back in some years' time and say the prediction of a $20 million worth of two-way trade actually has been surpassed.
Thank you.